Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and happy new year once more. I'm Agbofiona, registered nurse working and living in Dubai, UAE. The aim of this YouTube channel is to inform you and assist you with your licensure process in Dubai and in the United Arab Emirates as a whole. That's for those who are new to this channel. And another thing we added to our list this 2023 is to do research on nursing opportunities in other countries which can benefit you, my viewers out there, so that you can grab these opportunities. If this is what you're looking for, if this is what you want to learn more about, you might want to subscribe to our channel so that you'll be notified whenever we post or upload a new video. The aim of today's video is to educate you, inform you about 10 main interview questions to expect for your nursing interviews. It's true, it's with respect to nursing interviews only, but also these tips can be applied to other interviews, that's interviews in other sectors. So stay tuned right till the end so you'll not miss. So interviews, most often when we have interviews, we are scared, we are anxious, we do not know what to expect, we do not know how to go about it, but stay tuned, stay calm, information is power. Being here in Dubai for more than 1 year, I've attended so many interviews. I think I lost count, but I've not attended I've attended at least 15 different interviews, and they all went out well because I had maximum preparation for these interview sessions, and I also did a lot of research about interviews. I would like you, my dear subscribers, you, my YouTube family, to take every interview knock on the door as a green card to getting that job, as a green card to getting that opportunity thrown at you. Because it's true that interviews can disqualify you, but that's the only chance you have to prove to the potential employer that you are capable and you are fit for this position. So I'm going to talk about 10 main interview questions or tips that you should always have in mind when going for an interview, be it in nursing or in any other profession. The very first one, I'm sure you can guess, is tell me about yourself. Mind you, the interviewer does not want to know if you're married and have 20 kids and how old you are. No. Tell me about yourself is another way, it's a rephrased question that means how qualified are you for this position? It's another question that means why should we hire you? It's another question that means how will your strengths, your experience, your academic profile and background help fit with this role you're being interviewed for. That's what tell me about yourself is all about. It does not mean you should give information about your personal self. No, talk about your academics, talk about your experiences, talk about your strengths, your weaknesses, and probably you can add some hobbies, professional hobbies that you do during your spare time. The second question is, or could be, they can ask you directly that why are you interested in our company? There are so many hospitals, there are so many clinics, there are so many companies, but why this particular company? Often they might ask this directly or they might ask it in a tricky way, but you should always do your homework. Make sure you study well. So make sure you study well about this company. Read about the company. Read when it was created. Read about awards that they have had. Those are the tips you need to convince them that you are interested in their company because of this or because of that. Know their missions, know their values, and let them know that the missions and values of their companies ties with your personal missions and values or your personal attributes as a person or as a nurse. Tell them something convincing. The third question is, I think, almost the same as the first and second, about your strengths and your weaknesses. So highlight strengths that pertain to the role you're being interviewed for. Don't talk about strengths that pertain to a role for another job position. So make sure everything tallies to what you're being interviewed for. The fourth question could be, where do you see yourself in the next 5, 10, 15 years? So you should talk about potential for professional growth, talk about potential for further studies, talk about potentials for leadership and other things. The next question, they could ask you, what are your salary expectations? I'm always kind of tricky whenever I answer this question. Personally, whenever they ask me that, I always throw the question back at them. I'm like, oh, thank you very much for this question, but I would like to know, what is the salary range for someone with my professional qualification in your company? There you at least have an idea of how much they give. Then you can give a range. Always give a range. Don't give a single value. Always give a range. Make sure you don't overtax and you don't undertax. If you overtax, they might feel that you are too expensive, they will not be able to afford you. If you undertax, they might feel that you are not confident about your skills and about your prowess to do this job. So always be moderate. And most often this question is asked to disqualify people. If they feel that you are overqualified, sorry, you will be at the door, because there might be someone who will be able to take the position for a lower price. Okay, the next question is, they can ask you about a challenge you were able to overcome. So just give a beautiful story about how you came across a challenge, maybe at work or whatever, and how you were able to go through it. Make it sound very professional and very interesting. Even if it's a made-up story, be very confident about it and make it sound real. Don't make it sound like a made-up or a fake story. Next is one of the questions they asked me. I think that's why I want to share this with you. During my interviews in my current company, they asked me to demonstrate adequate hand washing using alcohol, using hand sanitizer. So they asked me to do this, to demonstrate it. So they might ask you a question like that, especially with all the coronavirus and influenza viruses out there. Hand washing is very important. You can get a question like that. Another question also is how to manage emergencies. I also had this question in one of my interviews I had. They asked, if you are faced with these situations, three situations, which one do you manage first? So you should be able to put your critical thinking skills into play and be able to answer questions like that thrown at you. And the last, or the 10th question, which I want to share with you, is they most often they'll ask you, do you have any questions for the interviewer? Don't ever say no. Always go for every interview with questions in your bag. Always. Don't say no. If you say no, everything was okay, it's fine, they might feel that you are not competent enough, or you're not confident enough, or you don't want challenge. But if you ask them questions, they know that, okay, you're really interested in their company and you really want to be considered for this position. Some of the questions I usually ask during this part of my interview, one of the first questions I always ask is, what are the challenges you're facing in this domain with respect to the role that I'm being interviewed for sure. So I always ask, what are the challenges you're facing in this domain? For instance, in my current company, I asked them that what are the challenges you're facing? And they told me the challenges they are facing is insurance approvals and everything. And to follow up for insurance approvals is quite daunting. So at least you have an idea what you will be up to when you get into that position. Another question you can ask them is, what is the ideal quality? What is the quality, the skills, and the caliber of the ideal person you want for this role? So they'll be able to tell you what the person they want for this role should be like, what kind of strengths, what kind of skills they should possess to be considered for this role. So always make sure you have interview questions in your bag. A few, at least ask 2 or 3 questions, 1 or 2 at least, but don't say nothing, don't say no, everything was okay. So another thing, please, another very important tip, while making sure you get to know the company very well, make sure you know your interviewers. The person who called you or who emailed you to tell you have been selected for an interview, ask them, write them back, who are those who will be on my panel. Go and research these persons on LinkedIn, research them on social media, so that you have an idea what they look like, you have an idea about their profile, and you'll be able to address each and every one of them by name during interview sessions. I always do this, and it makes you to win confidence over them, and also gives you a sense of maybe stamina, I would say, so that you will not panic, because at least you know who you're dealing with. Always make sure you do that. And don't forget to thank them for the interview at the beginning, and thank them also for their time at the end of the interview, and let them know that you'll be happy to hear back from them about the feedback of your interview. Kindly let us know in the comments which interview questions you have come across and how you tackle them. It might help one or two people. And please share this video to those who might be preparing for interviews or those who have interviews pending. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best in all your interviews. Feel free to leave any question you want. And if you want us to elaborate on any of these points in a separate video, do let us know. Happy New Year once more. Stay blessed and take care. Bye.